Hey, what up, boxing fans? This is the Rope a Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. I'm here on a post fight upload here. It's been a long time since I've been able to do one the night of the fight for Broner versus Vargas. We're going to do a round by round recap of it. Pretty good card. Two knockouts and a good spirited two-way fight. Haven't really been online to see how people are feeling. Did they think Vargas won? Did they think Broner won? Were they okay with the draw? I thought it was a good fight. As far as the undercard, though, Gervonta Tank Davis took care of business. Um, he came out sharp. He looked very sharp. Counter left hands, uppercuts, dropped him with a nice straight right hand to the body, to the liver shot in the second round. Like I said, just looked very, very good, very under control, landing uppercuts. I think it was an uppercut that actually hurt Cuellar in the third round. Then he landed a couple more hooks in a right hand, more body shots, combination. It was over. I mean, he dropped them three times, and the third time he just kind of stayed down. They called off the fight. So Gervonta Davis looking really, really sharp, and hopefully he comes back here in the next, 3-4 months to stay active. But Gervonta definitely sent a message, and let's hope he stays focused now too. Kevin Cunningham, that camp that they had, hopefully he can keep, his head on straight. Jermall Charlo took care of Hugo Centennial with ease. He came out, Charlo did, mostly jabbing. He was trying to cut the ring off pretty right from the start. He was pretty obvious in what he was trying to do. Centennial did land a couple of decent shots in the first and even the second. There was actually some early two-way action. Hugo landed an uppercut, but then a flush right hand just froze Hugo, and probably three or four more hooks. Some of them left, some of them right. The left hook landed just picture perfect on the temple. He had he actually had his glove up, his right hand up, did Hugo, but it didn't matter. The aim was just perfect by Charlo. So the Charlos keep their knockout streak alive. And even at the Barclays now, I think they've both scored like 4 or 5 in a row. So Jermall Charlo, gets the win. He's the interim WBC. So now he gets to wait and see if Canelo is going to fight Golovkin once Golovkin takes care of Martirosyan, which we all expect will happen. And who knows? Maybe he can get a decent fight. Maybe the Canelo and Triple G fight happens, or, Canelo probably wouldn't fight anybody at the tippy top level of 60 if he's going to fight Golovkin, let's say next May. And same with Golovkin. He's probably not going to want to take a huge risk, go fight BJ, Saunders or something like that. But you wouldn't think he's going to take too big of a risk, knowing, what's in store. And maybe it would be Derevyanchenko to take care of his mandatory. My point is, maybe we can get Charlo and Daniel Jacobs in the ring, because neither of them will have Golovkin or Canelo to fight. Now, I'd like either one to get to fight him, don't get me wrong. But if that doesn't happen, that would be big. And Charlo fighting in Barclays in front of a big crowd next week. Jacobs fights there. They could be a main event. Anyway, so once again, a Charlo gets the knockout. Left hook was just vicious. As far as this Broner Jesse Vargas fight, now this is just an observation. And I believe I observed it in recent fights in the last couple of years, say. Not a bunch of times, but just I think one other time I noticed it. But Jesse Vargas has some serious back acne. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, the first round was actually closer than I think most people thought. A lot of people just gave it to Vargas because he was a little steadier. He was landing his jab, no doubt. I guess they both were. It was a very slow start, but I don't know. There were some left hooks and some, even though Broner barely threw, He may have won the round based off the bigger shot or the better shot, I should say. But you probably give it to Vargas. I gave Vargas for sure the second, third, and fourth. The jab, just the busy work, getting to the body. Broner may start early in the round and then he'd fall off, or he'd wait, too long and then flurry at the end, but it wouldn't matter. He was just putting his punches together, landing hooks and right hands. Was Vargas, like I said, all behind that jab. And they said that, I think he said that his last couple of fights, Vargas averaged like 50 something, 54 punches a round. And he bumped that up to like 78 or 80. I know he hit 100 at least once, but that was a smart adjustment by Jesse, just knowing, not just putting the pressure on at all times, because he was putting pressure on, but he was also jabbing and fighting smart throughout the fight too. The third round probably at that point was the best two-way round, and then it really started to become a two-way fight. Finally, you started to see Broner let his hands go. The fourth round was really close. That could have went either way. It could have been a 10-10. Broner probably landed the harder shots, his right hands. That's what he started doing. He started either countering or lead with the right hand, and, of course, the left hooks. Really good action round, though. Close round. Could have went either way. Like I said, busier, some nice right hands. Vargas closed well in the fourth, too. Maybe that's why you give it to him. I gave the fifth to Broner, actually. To me, I thought by the middle of the round, he started getting more active and he started landing good combinations and just a better shot. Vargas, though, I thought went on a run again. He won the sixth round. He was just busier. There were some exchanges midway through the round. In fact, Broner got warned, I think, for a low blow in that round. But Vargas was just the steadier fighter in the sixth. In the seventh, really started landing those hard right hands. It kind of looked like he was going to start to, there was exchanges, but kind of walk him down because he was either countering with the right, but then he'd throw some lead rights. You're like, all right, Jesse's really starting to lay down the wood. And I thought maybe because Broner, although he was showing some energy and he won a round in there, I just felt like, Vargas was so ahead on the scorecard. But then Broner really turned it around. In the eighth, he started landing his lead right hands. Good exchanges down the stretch. Vargas, he closed strong in that one. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times these rounds were close like that. Gave Broner the ninth, gave him the 10th as well. Just those right hands and hooks, and just started finally throwing combinations. Even in the 10th round, he was throwing his jab and pot-shotting a little bit. In the 11th, though, it's pretty disappointing. Here Broner made this three in a row, made this nice run, and then he kind of shuts it off for that round. And credit to Vargas, though. He was jabbing, boxing really well. Just Broner didn't win enough rounds. And if you look at how this fight turned out, had he just kept the pace up in the 11th, he would have won this fight. I did give him the 12th, though. Thought he landed the better shots in a really mediocre round, considering how, this is a very good fight. In spots, it was, they had exchanges and they exchanged jabs a lot of left hooks. It was fun, but it sure kind of started out slow, which isn't a huge surprise. But I thought that 12th round was pretty mediocre. So, yeah, the judges had it 115-113 for Broner. And two judges had it a draw, 114-114. I had it 114-114. I could see 7-5 either way. I was actually okay with a draw. Like I said, though, that 11th round, Vargas was smart. He jabbed and boxed well. But Broner, to me, dropped the ball. And when you look at the scorecards, like I said, he dropped the ball even more than I knew at the time. But he didn't keep that pace up. And it didn't seem like he was that tired. That's what kind of threw me off. Thought Kevin Cunningham did a good job in the corner of just, trying to just get in Broner's ear and be like, dude, you got to throw punches. And he finally listened, although he didn't listen to him in that 11th and a good chunk of that 12th round. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. How did you score it? Did you have Vargas in a close fight? Did you think Broner landed the cleaner shots? Or did you have it a draw? You're okay with a draw. Do you want to see the rematch? Let me know what you think. Check out the Rope It Up Radio anytime at Blog Talk. Shoot, my cat just jumped over the computer. Sorry, blogtalkradio.com/Rope It Up Radio. It's the Rope It Up Radio podcast. You can check it out on iTunes and Player FM and Stitcher and basically anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can check it out. Peace.